Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We're almost live, guys. Just doing some final checks over here. And let me know how the music. Is it too loud? Is it okay? You like it? Good on the voice? Cool, cool. We got Barjasin, Pan Tostado, more gaming. Because I literally was trying to sculpt a helmet today using a reference and didn't look at all like reference a band, and then I deleted it and then we'll start over tomorrow. Yeah, one of the cool things, and I remember a teacher, Max Dayan, he was really cool about this. He used to say polygons are free, right? So it's not like you're buying all your paint or clay and doing your sculpt and then throwing it away. So yeah, just start over. It'll look better the second time, and better the third time, and better the fourth time, and so on. Eduardo stop relaxing music. Yeah, this is from a site called Chill Hop. It's free to stream as long as you follow a couple of their rules. So it's really cool. Strongly recommend it if you like this sort of like lo-fi style. That's very, very nice. Try to sculpt Moon Knight helmet concept art. Yeah, Moon Knight is tricky. A lot of details. Aki, what's up, man? Welcome. You guys like the new banner that we have right here? It was thanks to our good friend Jax from the Discord server. He was kind enough to do this for us, and it just looks nicer, more professional, I would say. Render House, what's up, man? Welcome. Ocean on YouTube, what's up, man? Yeah, the transitions looks really, really nice. We're gonna have this on our Discord server as well. Once we stop showing the little banner that we have right now with the Plague Doctor from our newest course. Safari Man, thanks for the follow, man. We're gonna start very, very briefly, just a couple of minutes. Oh, by the way, we haven't updated our what's the word? Our goal today. What should we do now, Sarn? Should we go greedy all the way to 800? That's a lot of people. 28 new followers. That's tricky. Or should we keep it simple at what, 790? I don't know. There we go. We're gonna start at 790. Let's see if we get there. I believe in you guys. I think we can get to 790. If we get to 800, well, we might do a special giveaway or something. Ocean, what challenge do you mean? Do you mean like an event challenge, like the weapon that we did, or do you mean like the weekly challenge that we're doing? More gaming. Yeah, see, the thing is, hard surface is tricky because it requires a lot of polish. I think that's where people get a little bit desperate. When you are doing hard surface, you need to go over the same piece like several times. So you might need to sculpt it and then clean it up and then retopologize it and then sculpt it again and then polish it again. And it's a lot of cleanup. That's why you see a lot of concept pieces in ArtStation and in like portfolios that are just ZBrush sculpting. They're not like game ready or animation ready, because in order to go from a ZBrush hard surface concept all the way to a production line or a production piece, it takes time. It takes a lot of time. It's one of those processes that's not as fun because of the retopology and UVs and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Ocean, yes, we're gonna have a new challenge soon. I'm not sure if it's gonna be on February or if we're gonna wait until March, and it's probably gonna have to do with one of the courses that we've released so far. So ZBrush, Blender, Maya, or Marvelous Designer, because the idea is to like get you guys the tools, of course, the tutorials, and then you guys use those tools to make something cool. So yeah. We'll let you guys know a little bit more about that. Right now, we're working hard on the launch of our new site, which, if you guys were not aware, launched last week. Our new site where the newest courses is available. It's www.aveliel3d.com. Joshua says, does anyone know how to get Blender controls in ZBrush 2023? It was working on my 2022 one. You mean like the rotation and movement and scale and all that? Why would you want that though? It works a little bit different though. Well, I mean, if you've been sculpting in Blender, it kind of makes sense. I personally just like learned both, Joshua, because it's very complicated. For instance, in a student environment, if you're working on a team and your supervisor or a friend of yours is coming up to your place and helping you out, and your controls or your keys are different, it's very difficult for them to help you out, right? Because they cannot navigate, they cannot drive your computer or your software the same way the standard is. That's why I personally don't like to change a lot of my custom interface. I just add more stuff to it, but I don't remove any of the default things. I wouldn't know. I would need to make some. I would need to check out how to do that you're asking for. Yeah, Aki Senpai on Twitch is saying that he has used a plugin to add the hotkeys and pen settings. I've never done that, so I'm not sure. But if you just Google something like Blender hotkeys ZBrush, you should be able to find something. Just make sure that it's up to date, because if you're having issues with the versions, it could be because the plugin is not up to date. We're in ZBrush 2024 now, by the way. Well, the newest version is. Oh, I'm gonna show you guys something in just a second. Let me go for it. More Gaming says, Abe, I will sub to you when I get a 3D modeling job, which is soon because I need to do something first. Yeah, man, don't worry. If you guys have Amazon Prime, they also give you one free sub, and it's just extra money that Jeff Bezos is throwing away. So if you want to support, that shouldn't cost you a cent, and it really helps the channel. I'm gonna go full screen to show you this because I really want to show it, and I can't have it here because it doesn't fit. Okay, let me show you. There you go. Look at this. I finished my my Kindred mask this week. I was inspired by the cinematic that we reviewed last week, by the League of Legends cinematic. And if you guys didn't remember, this was one of the first projects we did last year, and I showed the whole process. The live streams are up in YouTube, by the way, if you want to check them out. It's the sculpting process. It's the we even do I think we even do retopology, a little bit of retopology, and then I'm not sure if I do textures as well. But there's like a bunch of videos about this mask right there, and I showed the 3D printing, or the 3D printed mask, and it was looking nice, but I couldn't paint it. I just didn't have the time. And this week things were a little bit more calm, and I finished this. So there we go. Look at this. I've never done cosplay. I don't think I would ever do. I don't know. Maybe an armor, like a knight's armor. That would be cool. But yeah, I'm trying to see if we can fit it somewhere in here. Probably here, I can maybe hang it right there or right there somewhere. But yeah, it was a fun little hobby activity for the week. This was it's just acrylic paints, by the way, so not nothing fancy. That 3D print did take quite a bit. This was done by a good friend of mine, Isaias, and he what's the word? He 3D printed. I think it took 25 hours or something. It's a single piece. It's a single piece. It was printed kind of slanted like this, at this angle to fit on the 3D printer. And yeah, it was a fun project. Here. Let me go to the countdown, and I'll answer some more questions. I'm almost ready. I just need to finish the Photoshop setup, and we'll be right back. What is it? 3 minutes. Yeah, there we go. 3 minutes. No, Aki. This was a filament 3D printer. I think he has. Oh, I don't remember which one he has, but it has a huge volume, 450 millimeters, so 45 centimeters. So it's like a block, a huge block that he could print. Oh, gracias. Sí, quedó muy cool la máscara. What would you like to cosplay if I could? Well, first I would need to get really fit, because I don't I wouldn't like to cosplay the way I look right now, so I would need to lose some weight. I would say a paladin, right? Like this sort of heavy armor, like Reinhardt from what's the word, from Overwatch was always a favorite design of mine. So something like that. That would be cool. I've always identified myself with the big tanky characters. I always like to be this sort of tanky support. A Lich King armor would be nice as well, but imagine how. Oh, another one that I've always wanted to have is a Spartan, a Halo Spartan costume. All of those are good options. Paratamash Jadav is asking, do you think a single person can make a small part of a CD from scratch all by himself for 3D enjoyment, artist training, and portfolio? Yes, of course. Yeah. And I yesterday I uploaded a video about that, how everything is, or you need a team effort, right, to do super amazing things. That doesn't mean that a single person cannot do super amazing things, but the scale, right, the scope. It's not the same thing to say I'm gonna do a whole world, a whole 10 levels and enemies and bosses and everything by myself, and say, hey, I'm gonna do a single level, a single boss, a single enemy, a single character. Those sort of stuff, one person can definitely do it. It's all about the scope. So in that case, yeah, man, one small part of the CD, totally doable. It's gonna take time, right? That's another one big part of the equation. You're gonna need quite a bit of time. Can definitely be done. Here we go, guys. Hello everyone and welcome to our live stream. Today, let's go full screen for a while. Today we're going to be going into one of our favorite series, of course, and that is Portfolio Review, where you guys submit your stuff, I take a look at it, I give you the good things about it, I give you the bad things about it, I give you advice on how to fix the bad things, and my general opinion. Remember, this is all an opinion, hopefully an educated one, something that's going to be helpful for your portfolio and to get you to get the best opportunities to get you to that dream job of yours. However, as I've mentioned before, please do not take the feedback that I'm about to give in a bad way. I'm always criticizing the art, not the artist. So if I say some bad things about your art, don't take it personal. It's the art. I know you as an artist are working really hard. I know you're trying really hard to make amazing things. That's fine. Keep doing that. But we need to work on the art if it has some issues, okay? So we are, as you guys know, live on the Twitch. Here in Twitch, we got a goal right now. 790 is the goal. We're 18 followers away. So if you're not following and you want to follow, feel free to join the amazing rank of people here who are supporting us on Twitch. Let's go to the stream. There we go. So we got a couple of news or a couple of messages before we continue going on to the portfolio review. First of all, if you are not aware, we released our newest site, which is the Ave Leal site. Let me show it to you real quick right here. And all of our courses are going to be published on this new site. So our newest course, which is the Introduction to Marvelous Designer course, is already up. If you haven't seen it, here it is. You can check the trailer on YouTube, and it has all of the same functionality that we have in Udemy. So it has a player, you can ask questions, you can send messages. We of course have our amazing community in Discord where you can share your feedback and just learn about the 3D world. So that's the first news. The second news, we just hit 8,000 subscribers on YouTube. So say hi to the YouTube guys over here that are watching this. And the next milestone is 9,000. So let's see how soon we get there. Hopefully by the end of January, we're gonna be able to get to 9,000. One more news is that we have our weekly challenges going on the Discord channel. These are just creative processes that you can follow along. This week is Pokeball. You're supposed to make a Pokeball or something Pokemon related. And yeah, we're gonna have them for like the next couple of weeks. Let's see if they stick. And if they do, we'll just keep going. So I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I think it's pretty much it. Eduardo Godoy, we just released a new video. If you haven't checked it on our YouTube channel, like literally the last full video that we released is about cloth folds. I use Marvelous Designer to create a clothing with wrinkles, and then I extract the folds from that to get them into ZBrush. You can get a very nice result with cloth. If you want to do realistic cloth, you're gonna need Marvelous Designer. So again, make sure to check the course as well if you want to. It's it has a couple of lessons for free. You just need to log in, and that is it. So let's jump straight into our portfolio review for today. We have a lot of submissions. I counted, I think we have 38 submissions. So yeah, let's go. Now, since we have 38 submissions and I don't want this show to go like overly long, I'm just gonna be like selecting some of the ones that I think deserve the most attention, because in some portfolios like this one right here, we're gonna see a lot of pieces. Look at this. So we're gonna start here with, this is Nishai Rohila. Let's go. Now, let me just check here. There we go. Thanks for the follow, my friend, and Nesham. Okay, so this is from Nishai Rohila, and the first thing that I noticed for your portfolio, Nishai, is that we have a lot of stuff. And in the art world, I would say not always more is better. There's a famous quote that says less is more. So in this particular case, I think that applies perfectly. As you can see right here, there are a lot of exercises, there are a lot of tutorials probably, there are a lot of like models that are not being shown in the best possible light, literally and figuratively speaking. This means that, as you can see right here, there's a lot of things that just don't cut it quality-wise, right? So for instance, this one right here. This was 4 months ago, so I know it's relatively recent, and it's a nice exercise. I understand the fonts are like cartoony character. I hope we were going for a cartoony character, because otherwise then the proportions are looking a little bit too cartoony if this was supposed to be more of a realistic thing. And just taking a screenshot out of the ZBrush, not ideal. I remember this was back like 11 years ago, or no more, 12 years ago, when I was first starting 3D, and my teachers always used to tell me, if you're gonna share something on social medias, never just take a screenshot. At least take the time to add a little bit of light, even in ZBrush, add like a little bit of a background in Photoshop or something, just to make sure that it looks a little bit nicer. So for me, or my best advice for you, my friend, would be to really go in here and be very honest about the works that you have right here, and decide which ones really don't deserve to be here, like this one right here. This is an interior. This one you did 2 years ago. I know that your skills now, after 2 years, should be way better than this. And as you can see, there's no textures. The models are very stiff. You did texture like this guys right here and gave them shaders, but not anything else. So it just looks like a lazy approach. And again, I'm not calling you lazy. I'm calling the artwork lazy. And you need to be very mindful of that, okay? Same for this one right here. This is a nice sort of like product render that you're trying to go for, but your render is not working. This render, actually, this gray render looks better than this one right here, because I don't know why you added this sort of like stone sort of like effect when it doesn't really like help that much. One thing that I immediately notice is that there's no HDRI, or at least doesn't seem to be an HDRI. It seems to be just like a couple of area lights, and that makes the glass look very unrealistic. Anytime you guys are gonna do a render that has glass or metal, you want to add an HDRI or work and do a very like nice environment if you don't want your renders to look fake, okay? Which is a little bit of what I see right here. Now, I can see that you have some skills in ZBrush. I can see that you have some skills in Maya. My advice would be to polish. You seem to have a good understanding of the tools. Now you need to get a better understanding of the presentation and the quality that we need our pieces to be. I can recommend a couple of the courses, like the ZBrush course for the character creation, because we go over render in the final chapter, and I think that one's going to be very beneficial to you, and as well for some of your anatomy that still needs a little bit of work. So yeah, that's it, man. Hopefully that works for you as our first portfolio review today. Guys, you can ask questions here in the chat. I'm gonna try to catch as many as I can, so just go for it. But and that's it. Solid Mango, I mean, and again, I don't want to be like extremely rough, but sometimes you guys ask me to be like extremely rough. I would say, and again, Nishai, please don't take this the wrong way, I would say this portfolio is a intermediate or like student level portfolio, roughly, and you really need to push it a little bit more to really go into like the graduate student level, right? Like a rookie sort of level. So be careful there. Like you got good stuff. You don't need to share everything on ArtStation. Remember, ArtStation is like your letter to the world, your presentation. So you always want to have only your best stuff. Let's see. Cruz is asking, today I have started a challenge for myself, sculpting at least one torso a day for 30 non-skippable consecutive days. Do you think this is a good way to learn? Because I'm using resources. Yes, it's a good thing. I'm not a huge fan of speed art, to be honest, because speed art focuses on speed and not on quality. But it depends. When you're just learning, like if you're just starting to learn about anatomy and ZBrush, it is a good way because you get stuff out of the way and you get faster and faster and faster. But I would recommend maybe don't do 30. Here, I'm gonna feel like a trainer now, but I'm gonna give you a sort of like a routine that I want you to do, okay? Give me 1 second. So here's what you're gonna do. A 30-day, let's call this anatomy challenge. So the first 15, no, 15 is too much. The first 10 days, you're gonna do 30 or one torso a day for for 30 minutes, right? That's your challenge. And then the next 10 days, you are going to do one torso every 2 days. So it's going to be 5 torsos. And then the final 10 days, you're going to do 2 torsos. So that's every 10 days, so 2 torsos. So that's 5 days per torso. This means that at the final time, you're going to have 2.5 hours per torso, right? That's a lot of time. That's a good amount of time. And after all of this practice that you did here, this torso should look immaculate. Like they should look really, really, really good. And I feel like this is going to be a lot more helpful than just doing 30 torsos of 30 minutes. Because in 30 minutes, again, we've talked about this before, the amount of time that you spend on a piece will, like, it's a very big let me phrase that again. The amount of time that you spend on a piece is directly correlated to the amount of quality that that piece can get. When you're first learning any software, it will take you more time to get to a good result. And as you get better and better, that time is gonna be shortened. However, even if you're a pro artist, you cannot do the same amount of quality in 30 minutes that you can do in 3 hours or in 3 days. Characters in studios, they take a long time to be done. Not even like Grassetti would do a torso in 30 minutes and call it a day. He would keep refining and refining and refining until the time is right to keep going on to the next pieces. So the amount of time is always dependent on the amount of quality. There was a famous quote by I think it was Picasso that says, I'm not sure if it was Picasso or Da Vinci or one of those guys. He says, art is never finished, it's just abandoned, because technically you could keep polishing and polishing and polishing. So it's very, very important to do that. Okay, so that was Nishai. Let's go now to the next one. This one is Mauricio Leaño. Unguided. Nice, nice. Okay, so look at this. This is a little bit of a contrast. And again, I don't like to compare people because I know everyone has their journey. So I'm not going to be too harsh on that sort of like comparison. But Mauricio here is showing us a very nice sort of like condensed portfolio, right? We only see the pieces that we need. And even then, I see a couple pieces that I will be like, maybe take them out of your portfolio. You don't really need them. So the first thing that I notice is this is modeling and texturing sort of like a portfolio, which is great. And we just need to like polish a couple of pieces here. So for instance, this Roman chapel, I like it. It's a nice little model, it's clean, but it's a very simple prop. So whenever I'm doing this sort of elements, I always like to incorporate them on a little scene. So if you look for a Roman chapel, let's look outside. One of the things that you could do is just model a little bit of an environment on the outside. Like, I'm not asking you to do the whole freaking Vatican, right? But if you just do like a couple walls, maybe like a courtyard, add a statue on the center, like if you spend, again, more time on this piece, it's gonna be a little bit better. You're gonna be able to get more out of this particular one than just having this basic one right here. Wishin, what's up, man? Welcome. Welcome. So this one, I think it's good, but I think it could be better. Okay, like if you again incorporate more stuff. Hey, what happened? There we go. Now, same thing with this one right here. Like, I know that this is World Machine. Like, it immediately looks like it's generated terrain, and this is software that I actually haven't tried. It looks very interesting. I should try it one day. Maybe we'll do a tutorial on YouTube or something. But it's just an exercise, right? Like, this is not a project. This is an exercise. You went, you learned it, and you created this piece. Is it a good piece? Yeah, sure. I mean, looks nice. But is it a portfolio piece? I would say no. This, on the other hand, these are portfolio pieces. All of this 4 weapons or 5 weapons over here, this look really, really nice. This skull axe looks really nice. It's very important if this is a game asset to show the, what's the word? To show the wireframe. We don't see the wireframe. I'm not sure how heavy this is, but this is a really nice one. This could be in a game like right now, and it's totally fine. This one right here is making one of the mistakes that I always tell you guys about, and I think I'm gonna die, and literally the day before I give my last spread, I'm gonna be correcting someone on this on this effect. It's like, dude, do not use metal edgeware on all the edges. We saw this last week on the League of Legends cinematic. I showed you guys how they did it. So it's very, very important to never use metal edgeware uniformly across all edges. Look at this wear here on the handle. You're adding metal edgeware to every single stripe of leather. You're adding metal edgeware to every single metal bit, even to the lava sort of effect right here. You don't want to add metal edgeware to every single edge. I've had several videos on the YouTube channel on how to avoid this. The easiest one is just add a paint layer on top of your metal edgeware layer and just paint out some of the elements, like just remove them. Which ones are the elements that are going to have more damage? The ones that are more exposed to the outside world, so the ones that are going to be affected or like clinging against other things. So be very careful about that. Let's see, Priyanshu says, I took that course, but I'm a bit confused. Should I join the tip of blade of knife or not? Send me a message on Discord, man, because I'm not sure what you mean, and I'll help you out. Let's see. Nor Alling, I want to learn Maya, but we don't have a schools or college for 3D, so I'm learning Maya from free content for YouTube or any source, but I am improved so slow. So what's your advice for me? We have a new Jax, welcome, man. We have a new course on the, well, not new, but recently new. I think I released it on November or December on the last year. It's a Maya introduction course, and we make a little like pirate island. Just check it. I mean, I'm just gonna show it, right? Like, I'm here in front of the computer, I'm just talking when it's not here. So if you go to www.avleo3d.com, these are the 4 courses that we have available right now. Introduction to Marbles is the newest one. We have this Maya stylized worlds, and in this one, we go over the creation of this little sort of like pirate island, and I teach you a lot of the basic tools that you need to know about Maya. We do a little bit of animation, we do a little bit of texturing, we do a little bit of everything. You can start your journey here and just check the free courses or the free classes, and then if you want to enroll. And yeah, that's that would be, if you want to have like a more sort of like formal education, I would say that's a great way to do it. Cleaned Houses says, doing the Oni course right now, freaking love the course, right? Like, that was a very fun course. I really like doing that one as well. This is a nice model as well. I like it. Not much to say about it. I would add a little bit more complexity. You can see that you have a lot of cuts. I'm not sure if you use booleans. That's another thing we need to see. Oh, I'm gonna be able to see it right here. This is the way in which you check your stuff. Let's see. Yeah, this is booleans. Like this right now, it screams booleans. Like all of this. Is this wrong? Will be the question, because booleans have this sort of like bad reputation. Like, we should never be using booleans for modeling. No, it's fine. Booleans are fine as long as everything's triangulated like this right here. You can see though that we do have some weird shading errors right there because there's a lot of triangles going to like the same place. So it's not gonna give you like the best result, and it's not the ideal. We do have an angon though. It seems like there's an angon right there, so that's a no. Or no, that's a box, right? So again, I would probably try to model this a little bit better, or add a bevel to all of those elements to help with the shading. 7K triangle, that's fine. So be careful there, Mauricio. It's one of those things that people are gonna comment on that. This one's very good. I think from all of the pieces that I've seen, this is your best piece so far. And I mean, it makes sense, right? Because you've been like learning with each individual one. So this one I really like. It's very clean. The alphas, you're again making the same mistake that I mentioned, the metal edgeware everywhere. If you remove that, this will be like pristine. Like, I would not give you any single feedback on this one because of the metal edgeware. But in this case, you do have it. And yeah, this tank is very cool. I can see that you're a 40K Warhammer 40K what's the word, fan, which is great. So there you go. Yeah, this is good. Noor Alden says, the course is expensive in Egypt. Hey, I mean, I know that the currency can change, but $20, I don't think it's expensive for the amount of content that I try to pack into my courses. And you can ask anyone here on the chat who has been following some of the courses. I think $20 is fair. I've seen people charge $150, $200 for courses, and then the content is like not good. So I hope you value the things that we create over here. Okay, yeah, this is good. This is very low poly-ish nowadays, and we went over this a couple of days ago on the Discord channel. Poly count is no longer the main bottleneck in games. So if this is a tank for like a mobile game, this is perfect because it has a very nicely optimized topology. But if this is for something like a PlayStation or like PC, you definitely want to push the topology a little bit more, just so that you don't have as many sort of like hard, like 90-degree or hard edges like you have on several of the pieces. But this is really good. I still think, my friend, that the render, I don't know, looks a little bit flat. It looks a little bit fakeish. I'm not sure. Oh, it's Unreal. I'm not sure if you're using Unreal Engine 5, which should give you lumen and should give you a little bit more of a nicer realistic effect, because it does look like an Xbox One sort of like game so far. But it's a good one. I really like this one. And yeah, that's I think that's pretty much it, man. You got a nice portfolio here. Again, I would probably remove a couple of the pieces. Just keep all of your big props over here, and make sure to include wireframes in the pieces that do not have them, like this one, the Skull-X. I would even tell you to go back to the Skull-X and texture it a little bit different, so that you have more variation in the materials, and it's not just one single on one single element. Clean the house. It's not expensive at all. I would say it's really cheap for the content they create. Thank you, man. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I know. I'm not gonna judge anyone. Like, I understand that the living costs, even here in Mexico, the living costs have been going crazy. That's why I always try to provide free content on YouTube, right? There's free content right here. But in order to support the project, we need to put our courses on a fair price. So let's go to the next one. This is Shin. Nice. I see some good pieces here. So Wenshin is from Malaysia. There we go. Let's take a look at this one. It's a nice environment, very cinematic, very moody. First advice, and this was one of the advices that I was given when I was doing a very similar environment piece like this one. And my teacher like drilled that into my head and was like, okay, teacher, please stop. I get it. I get it. I won't do it anymore. The bump map can be very harsh. Like people tend to push the height map information when texturing inside of substance very intense, and you get this very grungy effect here on the wall, for instance, or this like super grungy effect here on the elements. If you take a look at my room, if you take a look at me, you're not gonna see like an intense bump map going. We like seeing the bump map because it looks cool, but we need to tone it down. So my first advice is anytime you are doing a bump map and you're not sure if it's too much, just do it in half. Like, I don't know, let's say my height map is set to 0.3 and I'm like questioning myself, is it too much? Set it to 0.115 or 1.5 and you are going to see the difference. And again, usually less is more. So just tone your bump map a little bit lower. You did follow the metal edgeware, which I'm happy for because it doesn't seem like what's the word? It doesn't seem like you changed that. Just 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. I was getting a message. I thought it was important, but no. So where was I? Oh yeah, the bump up. So whenever you think your bump up is too intense, just bring it down. And again, as I was mentioning, Wenshin here did follow my advice on the metal edgeware. I'm not sure if it was my advice, but he followed that things that I recommend, which is not have metal edgeware everywhere. Careful with these hooks right here. You kind of went the lazy route with them. If you're gonna be doing a close-up where you really see really close to this, like cloth hooks or cloth peaches or whatever they're called, you need to model them properly. And this is not modeled. I have some of them here in my house, so I know that this is not how they look. This just looks like 3 blocks like put together. So do the proper modeling. Again, probably bring the roughness down, because look at this. This is what happens when we have a lot of bump map. The glossiness of the effect will change and it will make it very difficult to see. And if this is a photo, it should be very smooth, okay? So yeah, oh, you're there, Wishin. There you go. So here's my advice, man. If you don't do the full detail for the cloth peaches, don't do a close-up of the cloth peaches, because people are gonna know this. So you gotta be smart in how you present your stuff as well. I've done that sometimes where certain things are not perfect. You don't show that angle. You show it from a different angle, because otherwise people are gonna notice that mistake, okay? But this is a simple fix. Just model a new one and replace it. I really like this one. This shot is very nice. Very nice. I love this one. And all of the assets right here. Yeah, this is a good one, man. This is a good one. So let's see. This is really good. I think wanting to do, and people have been asking, right, David? They've been asking about the hard surface course, and I think we're gonna do one soon. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to do a premium course, but I'm gonna be doing some sort of like exercise in YouTube, so to show you some of the tools that you have. This is really good, and the fact that you modeled this in Maya is even more impressive, because that means that you use traditional like sub-div like workflows. This is really nice. It would be great if you can rig it. Or find a rigger that can rig it, because this is a really good piece, and it looks nice. I do think the render is a little bit dark. I would go a little bit lighter, especially because look at this. The darkness on the environment right here are very similar to the colors and the darkness of the environment right here. So usually if your subject is light, your background is going to be dark. If your subject is dark, your background is going to be light. In this case, we have a little bit of an issue because the subject is both dark and light, so we need to play a little bit more there. I will probably make the background lighter. That will probably be it to make this part like punch a little bit more. Yeah, probably like a helmet or like a gun or something like that. Unfortunately, guns, they get kind of like filtered out. Oh, we got a Predalien. Thanks for the sub, man. When you do guns for YouTube, they get censored. Well, not censored, but they are not shown to as many people as you would expect, because they're like military and things like that. So this was cool. Maya, ZBrush, yes, it's nice. I mean, I can definitely see the likeness of Conor McGregor, so it's a good exercise. Nice action. Nice wireframe. Yeah. I would probably work a little bit more on the secondary and tertiary forms, because he does look a little bit flat. And the shaders. The shaders are definitely look a little bit plasticky, kind of like waxy. I'm not sure if you're using subsurface. It doesn't seem like it. And again, your illumination is very flat, because we have a very like frontal light hitting the character. Usually in portraits, you're going to have this sort of like 3/4 view like element from one side. We got the Safari Man that says, this is a super nice portfolio. Yeah, this is nice, man. This is nice. Now, my next advice for you, Wenshin, you need more. Okay, you need a little bit more pieces. You already have a nice environment, you already have a nice character, you already have a nice robot. Probably something a little bit more organic, because I see a lot of hard surface stuff, but I don't see a lot of organic stuff. Maybe some cloth, maybe an environment like with trees and things like that. Like just a little bit more, like just 1 or 2 more pieces, and you're good to go. I mean, you can already apply to some jobs with this. To be honest, these 3 pieces are really good. That they're in a very good spot, I would say, for like a junior position. But if you want to have a better chance, then increasing this or adding. I always tell you guys 5 to 7 pieces is a really good number to have when you're just graduating and getting into the industry. Let's see, Akash, oh, Aki, yeah, let's take a look at this. We've seen some of your stuff, and there you go. Aki has followed one of my advices. He used to have a lot of pieces here, and then now he is like kind of like toned those down to get something like this. This is amazing. I love this axe. I've seen this concept before, and I've wanted to do it because it's so cool. And you nailed it, man. Like, this is really cool. There are a couple of things, like if you were in the studio, there would be a couple of things that people would like tell you to tweak and move. There's always going to be some change, right? Like when you're doing a 2D and a 3D view, there's always going to be a little bit of a change. But as you can see, this is really close. My only complaint or my only feedback for you, my friend, is we need more light. You guys love doing dark renders. We need more light, okay? This render right here, it's way too light. Let me show you. So I don't know why, and I was like this as a student. Don't worry, like it's not personal. But one of the things that people tend to do is they tend to make things too contrasty, because it gives you a lot of contrast and it can allow you to show a lot of the stuff that you did. But you need to add more light to your renders, okay? Because otherwise it's very difficult to see. And I'm not sure if it's because I'm getting older and you're like, oh, what the hell is this? But I definitely recommend we do this. Let's see. Hey, we got a gift from Clean the House. Thanks, man. Thanks for the sub gift. There you go. So look at this. Let's do linear dodge. There we go. Look at that. So that's an overlay, right? And look at the difference. This looks dull, right? And then this looks punchy, right? It looks more alive. It looks more interesting. So that's the stuff that we want to do. Whenever you're doing something, always try to play with the lights. I know Hollywood has been doing this very sort of like flat images, almost raw-like, right? Like you don't see any shadows, you don't see any highlights, but just adding a little bit more, it just makes the whole thing, it just makes it a little bit more punchy, right? And I think that it makes the piece look more alive, and it makes it a little bit easier. Right now, of course, I'm burning the image, right? Like this is like way too much information, and you can see that we lose a lot of the detail in this area. But if you properly calibrate your lights inside of Blender or Maya or wherever you're doing your renders, that's the sort of stuff that you're gonna use to pop your stuff. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Cool. So that was from Aki. Now, Aki here has been, I do have some, like if you're in the Discord channel and you send me a message, I will help you out, okay? If you want something more advanced, we do have mentorships available where we can like have a one-on-one sessions in Discord and Zoom or whatever. But in this particular case, he has been showing me some options, and I know he's working on a new project that's looking quite nice. So hopefully we'll see more of your stuff soon, Aki. Let's see. I didn't know we could do this with Photoshop. Yeah, of course, man. Like post-production, dude, here's the thing, every single game, movie, series, short, commercial, every single thing that you see on the world, like presented to you as an advertisement or as a product, has gone through post-production. Every single thing. There's absolutely no professional work that has not gone through post-production. So you should not expect your work to look amazing just straight out of the render from Maya. You will always add a little bit of post-production later on. And it can be simple stuff. Here, I'm gonna show you guys a couple of tricks now that we've touched that topic. So where is it? I'm gonna use the doctor. The plague doctor. Primer. No, wait, it's in the stuff. There we go. So this is the render that I got from Maya, okay? This is the basic render that we got from Maya. Hey, thanks for the, what do we have here? A follow by Bacaloca. Bacaloca23, thanks for the follow, man. So this is the render that we got from Maya. It's a nice render, it looks cool, but can we make it better? And the answer is, of course we can. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a color balance, okay? A color balance is something that we can use to change the colors. One of the things that I wanna do is I'm gonna go to the shadows. As you can see, the shadows are very cool, so I'm gonna make them a little bit cooler. Okay, that's gonna give me more contrast. You can see the shadows become way, way darker. This is very contrasty now. That's fine. And then I'm gonna go to the highlights, and I'm gonna push the highlights towards the reds and the yellows. So as you can see, look at the difference. This is out of Maya, and this is the first sort of like a color correction pass, if you want to call it. I'm not a color corrector, but this is just like a very, very basic like way to add this sort of stuff. So I like it. However, it's a little bit too intense. We get very, very dark shadows, very contrasty, and we're not seeing the character anymore. So I'm gonna lower the opacity of this layer to something like a 30%. And as you can see, even that's a little change right there. I'm not sure if you guys can see it on your screen, but I can see it on mine. Even that's a little change will give you a little bit more. So I'm gonna add now a levels or a curves, sorry. Where is it? Here, a curves. And under curves, what I can do is I can also go to the colors. And for instance, if I want to make this whole thing colder, I can push the blue curve up and everything's going to be cooler. If I want to make it warmer, I can push the blue curve down and everything's going to be, again, cooler. And there's ways in which you can change. I talked a little bit about this in one Marmoset course that I did. I'm going to do a new one soon, probably. So RGB, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to push the shadows up a little bit here, so they're not as strong. And I'm going to push the highlights high as well. Kind of like this sort of like C-shaped curve right there. And as you can see, that again gives me a sort of like different thing and makes the whole thing a little bit more. Now it's not as dark. We still get a very high contrast in certain areas, but it's not as dark. And you can see by combining this, we're getting a very, very nice effect. I'm gonna add another layer. Let's go to this sort of like yellowish amber light. Just a soft round brush, big brush. This is a 4K image, by the way, so something like this. And then I'm gonna set this to something like overlay or linear dodge, something like that. Probably linear dodge. Lighten actually looks quite nice. Screen is looking good. I'm just gonna lower the opacity right there. So there we go. So instead of having to render the sort of like glow on the character, I can add this thing in post-production right here. And this is pretty much how you do that. One more thing that I recommend, because renders tend to do this quite a bit, is to add a little bit of sharpen. So if we look at this thing right here, you can see there's a lot of like depth of depth of field. Like I did blur things quite a bit. So if we go filter and then sharpen, and when you just do a smart sharpen, that's way too much, of course. Probably like a 10-20%, something like that. That's just gonna make the whole image like way crunchier. And you can play as much as you want. Like one image can look one completely different way depending on how you play with the color balance and all of the elements. But post-production is a very important, fundamental part of a final result. Engines nowadays, Unity, Unreal, all of these engines, they will have this sort of tools like attached to them, so you can do this sort of effects on the engine itself. So yeah, that's it. Now let's go to the next one. That was Aki and a little bit of a tutorial there for post-production. See, you guys get some cool information here from the live stream, even during portfolio review. Yeah, lens flares, noise, chromatic aberration, as Jax is saying, like all of those things can definitely help to the thing. This is Seraph. Hey Abe, I have gone through my user feedback and got rid of the old stuff and added some new ones. And also there is like artwork related to Ubisoft where I have written Ubisoft fan art. Can you please tell me if it's okay? Nice, yeah, this looks better. This looks way better. Now we see only the main things here available. Again, another advice, my friend, just take out this words right here. This is Comic Sans, and I understand what you're doing it, but unless you do it on every single one of them and you keep it like a consistent sort of like portfolio look, it just looks, again, a little bit lazy to have these things. So I would personally just remove the text. Take the Dwarven Axe text, we know it's a Dwarven Axe. Take this Hobbit text, we know it's a Hobbit house. Take this medieval game environment, we know it's a game environment, okay? So take this out and let people click on it to see what's inside of your portfolio. This is very cool. I like it. And yeah, keeping this as fan art is fine. You don't even need to add fan art. Well, nah, I guess it's better to be safe than sorry. Careful with your alphas here. I know you're doing some sort of like cut there. Try to use dither alpha instead of cutout alpha, because otherwise you get this. And on your image, if you're cutting this out in Photoshop or something on your image, you definitely want to have the background as the same color as the hair, even if you have the alpha channel, because otherwise when you cut it, you're gonna get that sort of like a dark line, and it looks very, very bad. I mean, it's a good fan art. I like the bakes that you did. However, and I talk about this on the Oni course, you need to try to not optimize everything as much as you're doing. Look at that. See that? I can immediately tell that all of these pieces that you did here are thin pieces. You only did the retopology on the front part of the piece, and you want to do the retopology of the full thing, okay? That's gonna give you like better bakes. Make sure to check. We did a live stream a couple of weeks ago. Was it last week or the week before? I think it was the week before, when we did the retopology of the mask for the Plague Doctor, and I explained how to do this sort of like complex bakes so that you can get a more like solid effect. Because you can see again here, when this thing's turning around on that area, look at that. That's all thin areas, and you don't want to see that on your game. You definitely don't want to see that on your game. This one's looking a little bit better. I like this. Yeah, this is good. Careful there with the bakes. That's the sort of stuff that people are gonna always kind of like pinpoint. And again, very similar to what I mentioned to the couple of portfolios away. If you know there's an issue with your stuff and you don't have time to fix it, don't show it. Go for another shot. Like, go for another angle, because otherwise people are gonna be able to see that shot right there. So that's a big issue right there. Topology wise, here's another like very common topology issue that I see, and it's very important that you fix it. You do not want to have a different resolution on the same element. This has no reason, like there's absolutely no reason to have a piece right here that has almost as much topology as the whole weapon. It's such a small piece. I would rather you make this very low poly and use the topology that you're wasting here on this front part, so that you don't get this baking error and you don't have this like super like 90 degrees cut on the weapon, than use it on a piece that's barely seen. Like, it doesn't change the silhouette. That's one of the things about retopology, guys. Remember that you should spend more polygons on the silhouette of the object than on the inner details, because the inner details, they can be baked down and they're never gonna change the silhouette. So be careful there. Texture wise looks good. Texture wise I think it's fine, but topology wise it can definitely be improved. But yeah, that's cool stuff, man. And I am happy that you were able to remove some of the stuff. It's very difficult to do that. It's very difficult to say, hey, this is not as good, it's not gonna be in my portfolio, because we as artists, we feel really attached to the pieces that we're doing. There we go. So let's go with the next one now. Pratik, let's say. Nice. It's from India. Do we have a message? I'm not reading the messages now. I forgot. Pratik, your course have taught me so much and your content is so inspiring. Please review my portfolio. Of course, my friend, I will. Cool. Yeah, so from what I can see, you probably watched the Maya course, which is the little island that we do. This one actually looks very similar to some of the things that we did there. And this is fine. This is fun. It's simple. It's cute. It's this is what I call Instagrammable content, because people in Instagram, this was like 50 years ago. I know it's not that way nowadays, but I remember like 15, 20 years ago when Instagram was just starting, it was like the girls' social network, right? Because girls would always like share pictures and screenshots of themselves. So you share this into Instagram, everyone's like, oh my God, I love it. It's amazing. It's so cool. Love it, love it, love it. So this is cool. Now, where can this fit in the, let's say, entertainment industry? Right now, this could only fit in sort of like advertisement, right? So if there's a coffee house near you, or there's like a library and they want to create like ads for social media and they want to have some cute little like constructions like this, then you can fit there. Maybe some animated shorts, like very basic stuff, because the amount of complexity, this will be my feedback, and again, it's not against you, it's against the artwork. My feedback is that all of the things that I'm seeing are very simple. Okay, these are things that not anyone, but someone that learns 3D can get to do very quickly in your journey. Like if you learn 3D the proper way, like with my courses, you can do this in 10 hours, right? 20 hours. Like after 1 month or 2 months of doing 3D, you can definitely do all of this stuff right here. Now, if you wanted to take it to the next level, you need to start adding more complexity, more complex objects, maybe a cute little car or a cute little plane, like way more complex than this one. Like if you start making this style, if you like this style, this sort of like pastel, very minimalistic cartoon style, that's fine, but try to add complexity to it. Like this one right here. I really like this tiny kitchen. It looks very nice. It's a very fun project. What I don't like is that there's no complexity. For instance, the fridge, it just has like the back 2 doors and 2 handles. Why not add some like magnets? Why not add some papers like on the floor? Why not add like a tablecloth over here? Cups, bases. Like you can make this super complex. And I think the Blender Foundation did an exercise not too long ago. Let's look. There was a project that they did, and I really like it because I saw the project and I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. It's not complex from a traditional sort of like standpoint, right? But still, it's still very nice. Where is it? Here, this one, the cozy kitchen. So look at the, oh, I'm downloading already? I was not expecting to download it, but hey, we already did, so let's open it. So if you take a look at this kitchen right here, you're gonna see that it follows pretty much the exact same style that you're using on your stuff, with the difference that in this particular case, the amount of stuff that's in here is just like tremendous. Look at that. The render mode. Probably gonna take a while for this to get ready. Give me just 1 second. This was by Nicole Morena. Very cool. There you go. So look at how much stuff we have in here. We got, again, tablecloth, base, even like a freaking little cat in there. Oh, where is it? There's like a cat in there. We got the TV. We got like a mouse back here. I think that's a mouse or something. We got a little plant. We got the door. We got a little bit of the outside even. Look at how they like prepare the scene so that when you see it from the camera window, you see all of this element. I'm lagging. Sorry. That was way too much, right? Too much force. Sorry about that. There we go. Can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me now? I'm just gonna go solid. There you go. So, sorry about that. If you download the scene, you can see how they did it. But even here on just like the clay view, you can see that there's so much information, right? And it's not complicated information. That's my point. Like you don't need to be doing this super amazing things if you just do a very complete scene. What's the main issue that I see with people here? The main issue that I see is that it probably took you, I'm gonna take a wild guess, 3 days, 4 days to do this. Maybe you did it in 1 day. I'm not sure. It took you a relatively small amount of time. And if I told you, hey, you need to do it like this is not gonna take you 2 or 3 days. It's probably gonna take you at least 2 weeks, okay? When you set everything up and the materials and the textures and everything. So it's very important that, again, and that's gonna go for a short, like what I mentioned at the beginning of the video. The amount of time you dedicate to something is directly proportionate to the amount of quality that you're going to be able to deliver. The more you know about the software, the more you can optimize that time. But it's very important to spend time on projects, okay? You're not going to be filling your portfolio with just like 2 days, like elements or things that took you 2 or 3 days to do. You need to spend like a good amount of time. So keep that in mind. That's very important. Not only our friend here, Pratik, but everyone. Keep in mind that you need to spend time. Okay, now we go with Mathis. Says, I'm Mathis. I'm slowly shifting my work to land a prop artist or an environment artist job. I would love to know what's missing for me to accomplish my objectives. Let's take a look. From Canada. Nice. Okay, let's start with the first one. Parion. It's a short film. Is it a 3D short film? I'm not gonna watch it. I'm just gonna kind of like scrub through it. Lagging a little bit. The first thing that I noticed is too dark, man. Like way too dark. It's very difficult to see what's going on. And I can already see that the assets on this one are a little bit on the student side, on the low side. So Again, I know you put a lot of effort and a lot of heart into it. But now with what I see on your other pieces, I can tell that you can do better. Like this right here. This is really good. Someone was asking earlier on YouTube, it's like, hey, can you do a full like CD scene by yourself? Yeah, look at this. This is really, really good. Really good. You definitely need to optimize. I'm hoping you are optimizing. You're really using textures and using titleable textures and things like that. But this is great. This is great, great, great. And now one of the things that people would like to see on pieces like this are the texture maps. I know it seems like a little bit redundant because we're already seeing the textures on the render itself, but it is important. This does look like nicely optimized for games, so that's great. But seeing the maps would be really nice. Yeah, sorry about that. It was not my intention. I was not expecting to get to hog so many resources. The thing is, I'm recording. I'm not recording. I'm streaming to 2 places and rendering and everything. There we go. Yeah, I mean, this is a good one, man, but it's just modeling. So we need to see textures. And you already showed me that you can do textures. Some of these are very low poly. Be very careful with these things. That's another one that I'm like, guys, you need to learn how to optimize a couple of things. Let me open Maya real quick. Yeah, we're gonna need a second PC. Razer, please sponsor us. Razer or Ryzen or AMD. Like, I'll build my own PC if I need to, but we're gonna need the components to be able to do like multi-stream and multi-record and multi-everything. So when you're doing this sort of things right here, like the pants, again, the silhouette is the most important part. So you don't want to have this very super jaggedy silhouette. But at the same time, I understand why you did it. You probably just like grab a sphere, cut it in half, and call it a day. That's fine. But there's way to optimize that sort of stuff. Let me. Come on, Maya. You're making me look bad right here. Blender is winning. Blender opening like 10 seconds, and you're taking forever. RTX 4090. Oh, that would be sick. I have a 3080 Ti that I bought when the prices were super high because I needed to upgrade. Before that one, I have a 1080, just like normal 1080. It was becoming a little bit too difficult to handle things. G-Jet systems, legit. I'm gonna have to look into that, Jax. I haven't heard about those, but I trust your word. Okay, so when you're doing a circular element, a very common mistake that people make to optimize is that they'll grab a piece like this one right here, and they'll instead of having a 20-sided sphere like this one, they'll be like, oh, I need to optimize. I'm gonna go 14 sides so that we have way less polygons. And yes, you're gonna have way less polygons, of course, but your silhouette, as you can see right here, it's gonna look very jaggedy. So instead of that, what you can do is the following. You can actually keep your poly count higher. You're like, higher? Yeah, higher. So instead of 20, let's go to, I don't know, like 32. You're like, wait, but that's way too much. Yes, I know it's way too much. But you're gonna have a very nice silhouette on the border. Right there, look at that. That border looks a lot nicer, a lot more circular. And then what you start doing is you start simplifying edges. So for instance, all of these edges right here, they can go away. And yes, now the silhouette on the side might be a little bit like not ideal, but still the round part on the top part is going to be like really good. And even here, if you need to optimize this further, you can skip one line on the border like this. And you're going to keep a triangle on the border. Like the triangle is going to hold the border. And then everything else is just going to be squares. Like that. Collapse. Like that. So the border, as you can see, is still going to have 32 sides. But the next edge is going to have half that. So it's going to have only 16 sides. Yes, the border or the side's going to start looking a little bit weird. But if you continue like optimizing all the way down, that's the way you can like have a very high poly count on the border of cylinders and circles. And then optimize as you go further and further back. This works very well with buttons. This works with like knobs and things like that. That's again like a very like cool trick to avoid having this super low poly like results on the pants. Now this is good, man. I would recommend doing again a very complex shape. I think I've seen this one before. I mean, I've seen arcade cabinets before. Careful with this ones. That does not look right. It looks way too big, and then this kind of like smooths down, and it's usually very straight. Yeah, my advice for you, my friend, would be to do complex assets like this gun right here. But you already have them on the final one, like on this piece. So as you mentioned, you're already like pointing towards environment and assets. So just texture this. Textures this. If you texture this full, you should have more than enough assets to finish the whole, or to have like a good portfolio. Just texture that one, Mathis, and you'll be fine. Yeah, and that's a way to optimize a chat to make sure that it's like you have more edges on the top part and less edges on the center part. Again, it works really nice with like buttons and things like that. But as we've mentioned before, nowadays polygons are no longer a big issue. Okay, we're gonna go now with Ambu Krishnan. Ambu Krishnan, and he has this Vecna. Again, too dark, too dark. Don't go too dark, guys. Becomes difficult to see. That's better, okay? That's even better. Like you can go dark like this. Like you can push the whites or the blacks. Another option here in Photoshop, if you like, this is the original one, right? If you go Control L, just push your blacks up a little bit. That's gonna remove a little bit of the contrast and play with this line right here. That way it still looks dark without it being like too much. And you can appreciate details a little bit more. So look at how much this pops now, right? It's just a very basic, change. And we can see so much more information. I know, again, and this was an issue that someone was talking about, I think with what movie was it? I'm trying to think. Well, it happened with the last season of Game of Thrones where it was very dark, and the reason why it was so dark is because when directors and editors are doing it, they're doing it on a sort of like a small movie theater with like the best equipment, the best projection, the best sound, and they tweak it so that it looks amazing there. But then you watch it on your freaking living room with the cat like flying around and the dog barking on the outside, and it's very difficult to listen to your dialogue, and it's very difficult to see what's going on. So be very careful in how you see or how you present your stuff. Now, you only submitted this one, so I'm only going to be reviewing this one. It looks good, man. Like, there's a lot of detail. I guess one of the things that I would love to see is the geometry. Because I think you did nail the character of Vecna. He definitely looks like the Stranger Things guy. But I'm not sure if this is for games or I'm not sure if this is for film. And that will be depending. It looks a little bit more for games than for film due to the quality of the textures. I'm not sure. I would love to see a texture map as well to be able to identify those sort of elements. And topology, especially for animation, right? Like this could be very easily rigged and animated because it's just a human, right? With like a couple of like weird proportions. But if you show me if this is for games or for film, it's going to be a lot easier to know. Hopefully this is not just like poly paint. I really hope this is actual UVs and everything. But yeah, this is cool, man. Good stuff. Go with the next one. This is a CJ. It says, I'm new here. Ace works too. Ace. AC? AC? ACJ? Oh, that's a difficult one. I'm just going to say ACJ. It's been 2 years since I started pursuing 3D. I'm having trouble landing my first job. I made 1 or 2 projects on a hard surface. Now I'm just desperate to get hired faster by focusing on props and textures. I'm also looking into freelance. I feel lost. Do you think I have a shot in any role at all? Any suggestion on what I should improve on my portfolio? Should exclude the older projects? I also worked hard on my reel. In my about section. I wonder if you'd be willing to comment on that as well. This is the first time I'm seeking feedback, but please don't hold back. I'm pleased to be a part of this community. Thank you in advance. Let's take a look. Okay, I mean, this is good. First thing I'm seeing, this is nice. I can definitely see 2 or 3 pieces that I really like this Game Boy. This is great. And yeah, I know this are 4K textured, but this is a really good job, man. Like, this is a really nice prop. The problem with this prop, it's again the simplicity of it, right? And I'm gonna explain why in just a second. This is good. Oh, that's a little bit too fast. The animation is too fast. You can slow it down because I can't see anything. I need to pause. So you definitely wanna slow that down. Same with this one. This is a very sort of like chaotic way of presenting your stuff. Just submit every single render as a separate one. It's way easier. 100k tries, that's a little bit too much. I know we saw some of the models on the Discord a couple of days ago and they were quite high, but again, you can see it's very low on this like stock part and then very high on this or like optics part. So it's a little bit on the high side. Like a weapon like this, I would try to optimize it at least to like 40k, to be honest, because 100k, that's a full character right there. Oof, this is okay. This could be one of the issues why you might not be getting so many hits, my friend. This is a very it almost looks, and I'm not sure, I would need to talk to you of course, but it almost looks like an automatic projection or like an automatic mapping instead of like an organized way of doing things. Now, when you're doing this sort of elements, this sort of like weapons, you don't usually, since a lot of these weapons are interchangeable, right? It's auto, yeah. Although, I mean, yeah, it's not ideal. It works, right? Because as you can see, it works right here. But then imagine someone tells you, hey, I need you to fix this little sticker right here. Try to find that sticker right here. It's kind of like finding Waldo. So yeah, auto is not the way to go. You need to. I love all of the reference. I love all of the, and the result is good. Like your modeling and texturing is good. But here, what you're missing, Ace, is you're missing the production sort of pipeline, the good ways to do it. Okay, Mr. J, what's up, man? Welcome. Yeah, it's gonna optimize your UV better. It's gonna make it a lot easier to read. And this is the thing that I was gonna say. You don't need to have every single part of this rifle in the same UV map. So for instance, the stock, all of this stock could be one map. And then the optics could be another one. This part right here could be another one. The cartridge could be another one. Then the body of the gun could be another one. Because again, think about Call of Duty, right? You are always changing things. So if you make a gun that has 7 different things that can be changed, and then you need to load other 7 maps just to load the new ones that you're interchanging, it's not optimal. That's not the way to do it. So it's about production like efficiency in this case. I'll probably take this one out. I don't think this is as good, and I can see that you did the opposite than this one. Instead of optimizing and having a single map or 2 or 3 maps, you went UDIMs and you did 4 maps, 5 maps. No, what? 13, 14, 15 maps. You did 15 UDIM tiles or 10 UDIM tiles. I think it's 10 UDIM tiles for a weapon that does not need 10 UDIM tiles. And it doesn't even show on the textures that you're using 10 UDIM tiles. So we gotta be a little bit more careful on how we utilize the resources. And that's this is one of the big secrets about getting hired or getting jobs out there, guys. There's a lot of content out there. There's a lot of content creators. There's a lot of enthusiasts, hobbyists that know how to do 3D, but they don't know how to do 3D for a production pipeline. That's why when I went to school, I was not only taught how to do 3D and how to do art, it was focused on production, because you need to be part of a production of a studio that's going to teach you how to follow the rules, and well, not the rules, the guidelines more so you get an optimized performance focused asset. Okay, so my advice for you, my friend, try to do a more complex thing, like a robot, like a big robot, like a mecha character, but try to follow the proper sort of like productions, good UVs, good topology, good material use, etc., because you have the skills. I can see that you have the skills. It's just that we need to orient those skills towards a specific goal. And as who was it here? Mathis did, maybe a small environment like this with multiple props, easy props, right? Like props that are not going to take you a long time. That could also be another good idea, because one issue that I've seen nowadays with portfolios is there's a lot of people that can do a lot of simple props or small props like this. Like I know that if I hire you right now, AI, and I told you, hey, I need you to do, I don't know, a computer case, or I need you to do a tire, or I need you to do a phone, you could do it. But my question is, if I ask you to do a freaking transformer, can you do it? Because I know that if you can do a transformer, you can do anything else that I ask you from. And that's why having a big, like your centerpiece of your portfolio is very important. Bert, what's up, man? Welcome. Hello. So let's go to the next one. Diltho, one of our adventurers here on the Discord. Remember, guys, if you are watching on Twitch and I'm not sure if followers also get this, but I know subs do. So if you sub to the chat with Amazon or whatever, you get a special role here. Resubmitting. I know last time you said to do a sci-fi character. I was already working on a new one on the portfolio, but that one is in the works coming soon. Been job searching, and I don't know if you have any recommendations where I should look other than LinkedIn in that aspect. Yeah, for jobs, yeah, this is good, man. We've talked about this before. Your Aatrox, dude, I love this one. I love the Aatrox. It looks very, very, very nice. I think this is the new one right here. I think this one is actually missing a little bit. I think you kind of missed the mark on the sculpting on some of these elements. I'm not sure if you rushed it a little bit, because they look a little bit smooth. I like this one right here, but this one, especially the feathers, they look really weird. Maybe it's the concept. I will need to see the concept. Of course, this is very, very stylized, right? Like this looks like the game model, like taken to the next level, like to a realistic level. It's a fun one though. I like it. Topology looks fine. Look at this. This is what I was talking about. See how he split his materials into multiple maps? So we got the red elements, which are all armor. We get the green elements, which are some of the props. The face. Okay, here's one thing. The face is very small. Look at the amount of resolution that we have on this face compared to everything else. Like the hammer, like this big hammer right here is getting way more space than the face. That shouldn't happen. So in this particular case, I would actually recommend, in the same way as you did this right here, have a single map for just the face. Just the face. And it's an easy cut, right? Because I believe you probably modeled this so that the face ends on the neck, right? So it's not the full body. Therefore, it's just split the head as a separate piece. You're gonna have way more resolution. You don't have to do a 4K for the face. A 2K should be more than enough, so that you have a nicer sort of like texel density. Oh, this is the concept. Okay, if we look at the concept, we can definitely see that it's a little bit more edgy, more sharp on several elements, and I can see that yours, you did nail some of the elements, and then others look a little bit too smooth. Also, you went for a lighter, brighter color, and this one looks a little bit more matte and more darker. So there are things that we can improve. For instance, I would say the colors mainly, but it's a nice project. It's very stylized, very, very stylized. I always refer to these characters like, well, I didn't remember it was Uther, but I do remember it was from Warcraft. I always refer to these characters like Tonka, like this Tonka big trucks that kids have. It's very, very cool. So yeah, this is, I mean, it's a good project, but I still think your Aatrox is better. I think you nailed it a little bit better with Aatrox. And I really like this one, the Valera as well. Yeah, you got good stuff, man. Just keep going. Now, looking for work. If you're looking for work, one of the things that you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to go and knock on doors, of course. Not like literally, but figuratively. LinkedIn is a good option. ArtStation actually used to have, I'm not sure if it does anymore, but ArtStation used to have a job section that was quite nice. I actually emailed a couple of jobs several years back, and I got responses. So if you go here over to find job, you look for character, you're gonna get some senior character artist, character supervisor, senior character artist. Now, I know it might seem like a stretch to, what's the word, to send your stuff to a senior character artist position, but in your case, to be honest, like I would say you can risk it. Like, do it. You might get the job. I know it might seem like much, but you might get a job, because senior is more about the quality than it is about the experience on the stuff. So a lot of the stuff right here, yeah, that's another shot. I know there's also like Fiverr and freelance things like that. I mean, if you're really desperate, you can give that a shot as well. But I think you have a very strong portfolio, character-wise especially, to get a shot at a big studio. And also try looking at indie studios. There might be an indie studio that's trying something new, and it might be a good way to get there. Get your foot on the door and start from there. Krishna 1507 says, hello Abraham, sir, Krishna Kumar from India. This time I wanted to review my female anatomy study. Okay, I'm gonna open it on the other side because I think YouTube doesn't like nudity. So let me see. Okay. Yeah, there's some nudity. So I'm not gonna show it. I'm gonna make the corrections, or the talk over here. Proportion wise, that looks good. I think you made the forearms a little bit too, or they're missing a little bit of muscle. The lips on the face need a little bit of work as well, and the eyes as well. Eyes and lips need a little bit more. Well, I would say probably the face in general. I think I can show the face. There we go. Ah! Why did that move? Can I get banned if I do that? There we go. Okay. So the face right here, I definitely needs a little bit more work. And another thing that I'm seeing, of course, is that you're presenting this again just from screenshots from ZBrush. So we don't want to do that because it's a little bit different, or it's a little bit difficult to appreciate the whole thing. So if you could show some subsurface, if you could show some textures, if you could show some UVs, or just a clay render in Blender or Maya, that's a lot better than just a screenshot from here. But yeah, it's a good one, man. Like, it's not bad. I like it. I like the proportions, and if it's the first female study that you do, it's a good progress. Definitely good progress. Let's see. Next one. Sacred Render. Hello, I'm learning character and prop modeling for 1 year right now. Also, I'm a designer because I like to create things with my own vision. My dream job would be to be a designer and modeler at the same time. For sculpting and modeling, I use ZBrush only, but learning 3ds Maya Blender. I'm looking for a job of any kind of internship, also thinking about freelancing, but I'm still learning how to make things game ready. I don't know much about making whole model like 20k polys, and I'm absolutely beginner in rigging. Okay, let's take a look. So I see some very cool stuff. This gives me a lot of like Dark Souls vibe. I can definitely see that we still need a little bit of work on our anatomy, especially on the forms. The forms look a little bit like well, not flimsy, what's the word? Like, they're not as well defined on the lips, on the nose, on the eyes. Like, that sort of stuff definitely needs a little bit of work. The texture is nice. Again, you're abusing a little bit of the metal edgeware, as I've mentioned before. Be very careful with this themed planes as well. This is something that I used to do quite a bit. Thickness is fine. Like, you can have thickness. I know it wastes some time, or it wastes some texture and polygon space, but sometimes it's needed to make sure that it doesn't look like weird. Like, this helmet right now looks like aluminum foil on top of the character. You get a good sense of render though. Like, this sort of like cinematic portraits, they look nice. Like, I'm not against those. I'm probably not a fan of this last ones, but this one is fine. This one is fine as well. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of sculptors out there, man. It's very similar to concept artists, right? Like, there's a lot of people who are really good at drawing, as you say, your own style and your own designs. But you need to show that you can follow rules, or not rules, you can follow someone else's like style, in fact. Because in here I see a lot of like techniques and a lot of things that you are learning from ZBrush, like scale mail and this. But look at this, like this doesn't look good, right? I hope you agree. Like, all of these elements overlapping each other, it just looks like a weird projection. Same for the chainmail. Some areas are overlapping with other parts of the character. Oh, sorry about that. They look weird. This is the problem. Ah, sorry guys. My whole family has been sick this past weekend. Or this past weekend, I think it's gonna be my turn now. This is the thing. Oh, and I hate that you are going to be the one that caught this flack. But there's a very common, I'm gonna go full screen here. There's a very common thing that happens when students are learning about 3D, art, drawing, anything in general, and they go with the famous, it's my style. This is how I draw. This is how I express myself. It's like, yes, your style is important. The way you do it is important. But there's been 3,000, 4,000 years of human history where art has been evolving and learning from everyone else's progress. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. There are things that are proven that you can follow, such as anatomy, proportions, design, perspective, etc., line work, things like that. And if you follow those things, you're gonna have an easier time creating the things that you want to create with your own style. So the sooner you get out of that mindset of, I'm gonna reinvent art and I'm gonna do my own stuff, and you learn the tools and then break the rules, the faster you're gonna improve as an artist. It has a lot to do, I think, with ego. You need to let go of that ego of, I'm special and I'm gonna be reinventing something, I'm gonna be creating something unique. You're not gonna be reinventing anything, but you are gonna be giving a new voice to things that have been like done before. So if you understand that and you learn the way things are supposed to do, or not supposed to be, if you learn the things that people have learned about, and you improve upon that, that's when you make progress. Okay, so to leave that ego behind, it's not going to help you. Understand that you are learning. We all are learning, right? That's our motto: always learning, always improving. We learn from things that people are already doing, the things that have been proven, and then we do better things with that. So yeah, that's my, where's the stream? That's my contribution there about like my style, my way to do things. So I can see it right here. And you mentioned on your message, this is your style. This is your way to do things. Okay, now it's time to learn how things are made, see what things you can learn from that, and incorporate that into your own design. Because this armor right here, it looks cool. But as you mentioned, this is not game ready. You probably did some like Siri measure and something, but is it ready to be rigged? Is it ready to be animated? Hands definitely need some help. There are a couple of empty spaces. The shininess is like not there yet. Again, I'm sorry that you're getting the extreme sort of like feedback right now, but it is very important that you understand that you can do your own stuff. It is possible to do your own stuff, but you need to follow the guides or the production, the sort of like the road that has already been laid out for you. Okay, so yeah, good man, keep going, just keep learning. That's the secret. Go to the next one. Dennis Usupov, hello, I've already submitted my work for the full review, and I would appreciate if you could leave a review about the concept via the link. I worked on the bugs, and thanks to you, I was able to significantly improve the work itself. First of all, your opinion on the design of the main concept sheet is important. Is everything okay with it in terms of visual effect, layout, presentation? There are 2 versions of the sheet laid out on the art stage. It would be great to hear what you think is better. Perhaps there are ideas with which I can improve the quality of my work. The second important point is post-processing. Are the characters and the ship too bright, contrasting, colorful? And the last point regarding the background of the concept characters, is it worth making them more minimalistic and nondescript like mine? Or did they turn out to be empty and it's worth diversifying them with something more? Let's take a look. Oh yeah, I remember this one. Yeah, I love this one. The little astronaut dog. This is great. Like the presentation of this sheet, absolutely amazing. I don't speak, is this Russian? I think it's Russian. Sorry, is this Russian or is this another variation of yeah, I'm not sure what language it is, but yeah, it's Russian. Okay, yeah, so the presentation is great. I would absolutely not change anything. I love the empty background where you are exploring and showing all of the elements, how this works, how this animates. Yeah, this is great, man. This is great. Okay, that's Russian. Let's see. Before texturing, everyone should focus more on the enemy. Yeah, I agree, Burke. I totally agree. So this type of style that I'm seeing, my friend, this to me looks like the type of style that you see nowadays on kids shows, right? Like on YouTube or on Disney Plus or on Netflix. Like there's a lot of kids shows. My little girl, she watches all of these things. She likes watching I mean, she watches a lot of like 2D cartoons, but there are 3D like Mickey Mouse and stuff like that. So a lot of this stuff is like I could easily see a show of this little dog right here going on adventures on space and meeting like funny aliens, learning about like the world and things like that. Like this is just like super cool, super cute. What is your best areas to apply? Yeah, so this is not games. I would not consider this to be games. This is more for like cinematic or commercial work. And I can see you as a modeler, as a look dev artist, and as a render artist as well, like a lighter, because you are presenting these things in a very nice, clean way. And that's something that as a shader or look dev artist is very important. So modeling, material work, and the rendering would be the areas where I would say you could focus on. Yeah, that's definitely. Now, if you actually design all of these things, like if you created the ideas for the ship and the dog and everything, then I mean that's even more valuable. So yeah, this is very cool, man. And I know I've seen some of your other stuff before. I'm gonna very quickly, yeah. So I think modeling. Well, for one quick advice: move this thing to the first. And add one thumbnail of this guy right here, because this is like your best piece right now, or your masterpiece, I would say, and it shows exactly what I was mentioning on the like oh, nice. Yeah, if you're coming up with the story and everything, that's amazing, because it shows exactly what I was mentioning on the last portfolio. You're not only showing a good mastery of the technical skills that you need to deliver this sort of like rendering results, but you're also showing that you know the process, the ideation process, the design process, the sketching process, everything. So this is a production piece because it shows that you have the production in mind. You're thinking about how this thing is going to be used inside of a production and not just doing a cool piece to do a cool piece, which is fine. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's awesome to do cool pieces just to do a cool piece. But if you have all of this, like, I'm not sure how like TV stations or TV networks are in Russia, but you could definitely like show this to a director and be like, hey, I'm not sure if writer is the right word, but I'm a visual designer. Could be the positions. Like I can learn about something and design you the props and make the props, lead the team, have a specific like line or idea of how things are supposed to be made, and work from there. Because this is really good, man. I hope my feedback is worth it. And if you have more questions, just write them on the chat right there on Twitch, and I'll be happy to answer. Greetings, my friend. Greetings. Thanks to you guys, I got so many students now from all over the world. I'm gonna have to do like a world tour one day and visit every single country. That'll be fun. That'll be interesting. Let's see. Let's go to the next one. This is Sanjay Prabhaskar, character artist. Let's go. Of course, we got Jinx right here. Super famous character. I've mentioned this before. Whenever you're doing a super famous character, it's a double-edged sword. You're gonna get views and you're gonna get likes because people like the character and they like the lore or whatever. But you're also putting yourself against a very high evaluation bar. So people have a lot of things to compare your work to, and if your work is not up to the level, they're immediately gonna be like saying it. So for instance, the eyes from Jinx are super important, right? Like super important. I would say they're probably like the most important part of the character, like her expressiveness on the face. And I think yours is not there. I think we are missing a little bit of that intensity of that. Right now, she looks like she's kind of like bored or like empty on the inside, right? And you see like all of the anger, all of the craziness that we see sometimes on all of these pieces. So it's very important to make sure that you nail that. Other than that, I mean, the model looks fine. I think the textures are a little bit flat in certain areas, like they're, for instance, like the boots, right? Like it looks like you just threw in a very quick sort of like leather material and that's it, because we don't see the grain of the leather, we don't see any damage, we don't see any like bright areas. Like it just like looks very simple. And another thing that I'm wondering is how many maps do we have? Do we have a maps breakdown? No, because it looks like you're only using one map for the full character. And that can be a little bit tricky. Topology wise is fine. Yeah, topology is actually perfect. Topology is really good. Like it's a good density. We're working with it's a little bit high, over a K or 100,000 triangles, but I understand why. Because there's a lot of props and a lot of like silhouette changes. Anytime you have silhouette changes like this spikes right here, you are gonna have a high poly count. Now, if you want to optimize, you don't need this ones. Like all of these lines, like you just need the point and the base, and that's it. So here you can eliminate some of those and you're gonna have more optimization as well. But yeah, for instance, the hair, like all of the cylinders, you definitely need all of the poly count. Yeah, topology wise, this works. This is perfectly fine. Textures, we need to work on the textures, Sanjay. I think I've seen your stuff before as well, right? Yeah, I think I remember some of your stuff. You get some good stuff here, man. And even your presentation is not bad. Like I like the presentation. This one actually looks a little bit better from a rendering perspective, and from an expression perspective, it looks a little bit nicer. So yeah, it's the textures I would say that need a little bit more work, because it looks very flat. If you're going for a flat hand painted style, you need to hand paint. We have a video on the YouTube channel as well where you can check that to do it. Finally, a Zoro. Who's Zoro? Is this Zoro? I haven't seen One Piece. Don't kill me. There you go. Yeah, this is good. It kind of looks like an Android sort of thing. Yeah, that's nice. We need to work a little bit more on the hair. Hair looks a little bit lumpy. Hair is one of those things I hate. Hair. It's one of the things that I hate doing the most, to be honest. If I need to do hair, I prefer doing X-Gen hair because it just looks nicer. And even though it's a little bit trickier to do, sculpting hair, it's so time consuming and so boring. I don't enjoy sculpting hair. What I recommend is this. Yeah, exactly this. Like get some hairs. This one's not the best one, to be honest. There are some more like better hairs. Hair brushes that you can create like the stripes, and it's a little bit better. Eye is open. I'm not sure what that means. Probably some anime stuff where he's about to kill someone, right? But yeah, it's fun. That's a fun one. I love Funkos. I have my own Funkos over there. The Critical Role cast. This Batman looks good as well. Again, we need to see more, like the Jinx one, more finish effects. 2B, of course, this one's pretty nice. This one's nice. You went a little bit more anime-ish with the proportions and the materials. I actually like the materials more in this one, even though they're very flat as well, because they work well with the character, with the pose and the light and everything. If you can do the retopology again to make a game-ready character, I think that's the thing that you need for your portfolio. Let's go. If you like the content so far and you're not following, guys, we got the goal today. A little bit far from the goal, but if you are not following, make sure to follow. Bro would still be lost. That's from finals, I guess. Finals? I'm not sure what you mean. Was that from school or something? Oh my god. This is Liventy Safari. Hello, Abe. I'm Liventy from Hungary. I work as a freelance 2D artist and recently started to learn 3D Blender. So I don't have too much to do working in my portfolio, but planning to create more pieces. I worked in the gaming industry before, but sadly can't find a new job in it since the studio closed. Mostly looking for game artist jobs. Yeah, I'm gonna make a quick comment right now. Unfortunately, the industry right now, and we've talked about this on the Discord, I've talked about it with Sarn, the gaming industry is going through a very weird phase where the big guys, the big studios are realizing that there's not enough, or it's not possible to keep spending that much money on producing games and then failing, right? Like we saw with the Bethesda one. What was it? Starfield? Is that Bethesda? Like what we've seen with Forsaken. Like there's been a lot of very huge studios that have spent a lot of money on the game and then it fails. And then you see small studios spending a lot of time and a lot of effort, right? And being huge hits. So yeah, Starfield. So my advice is keep your mind open or your eyes open, because you might find a job on a small studio that you're gonna enjoy more working on a smaller scale game than trying to go for the super big guys all the time. So yeah, just keep that in mind. But I'm gonna go to your illustrations because this one looks sick. I'm a huge fan of sorcerers. This one looks nice, man. I like it. Necromancer. That's great. Okay, let's take a look at the 3D. Well, actually, let's go all. Okay, cool. Yeah, so you got this very nice whimsical look over here. Trying to convert this into 3D would be amazing, because if you can do your own designs and then make them into 3D, that's top-notch stuff. So yeah, the industry is very slow, and it's slow, Jax, because they're in this situation where they don't know what to do. And this is happening in every industry, in the movie industry, in the gaming industry, everywhere. So one thing that you can try is, hey, if you have time, if you're actively looking for a job and while you're waiting for the responses, we'll try to innovate and do something for yourself. That's always a good way to do it as well. How to turn select rectangle from green to red with the control, man. Or yeah, it's control or alt. Is it alt? Control or alt. One will hide and the other one will hide. That's a serious question. Yeah, so this is very cool, man. I love this. This would be a very cool project to try to sculpt or model, this little sort of hobbit house. It's very, very nice. Even your character right here, this Flint, I think it was his name. Oh, I love this one. Oh, this is so fun. Dude, if you're watching, give me permission and I'll do this. This is so fun. I love this guy. He looks like the crazy grandpa that goes huh, I'm gonna teach you a lesson, boy. This is very, very cool. Sir Adakhan. That's very cool, man. So yeah, let's take a look at the 3D now. Environment, props, and assets. Okay. This is very weird because you have this very whimsical, fun stuff, and then you're going for the super realistic things on the 3D. To be honest, you would be one of the guys that I tell, hey, just keep your style. Your style is great. Just do your style in 3D because there's enough room for that stuff. Yeah, we've got some amazing stuff for today, man. Okay, this looks good, but we need to see wireframes. Is it very important, or is this just a concept? Oh, it looks like it's just a concept. I thought this was 3D. It kind of looks like 3D. I'm not sure. If it's 3D, we need to see a wireframe. This is great. You guys know I love chess. It's a great exercise. If you want to learn a little bit about 3D, doing a chessboard is always a good idea. I usually teach this exercise as well. The horse is always a tricky piece. I think the texturing looks a little bit weird on some of the pieces. Maybe it's the scale. And be very careful with this. I've talked about this before. This is very important. Oh, you're here, Zafari. There you go. Okay. So whenever you're working with the wood elements, the grain of the wood always goes in the direction of the longest piece, or not always, but usually goes in the direction of the longest piece. So this thing right here needs to go the other way around, and you usually want to have a couple of cuts here on the corners so that it follows always the longer piece. Same for this like small ones, or like small bits right here. You want them to go in the longer direction because that's the stronger part of the wood, and that gives it more strength. Evil Fry, welcome, man. Welcome to the stream. This one's fun. Sorry. It's a nice model. Again, I'm pretty sure this is not game ready, so it's probably just like a soft-div hard surface thing. And I see here that you were following a Blender course. That's great to learn the tools, but we need to focus on some more unique pieces, like following a concept. And again, I know that you can do concepts, so that's not the question. And this one's interesting as well. See, I'm not a huge fan of using like this sort of like predefined avatars. I'm not sure. Yeah, you're using like Mixamo stuff. I'm not a huge fan because I feel like they look very cheap, right? Like we all know there are Mixamo things, so I would probably just take them out. Like just keep the corpses and like the cryogenic thingies right here, but take the doctors out because like this position, it looks very weird. Would be my advice. Other than that, the environment looks nice. The only thing that, and this is very important with environments, you can see this in, like, let's look for Interstellar, inside ship. So if you look at the ship from Interstellar, right? Like this one right here. So like this one right here, which is similar to what you're doing, right? This is another 3D work, but it works with the example I'm about to show you. This one's way better. There we go. So if you take a look at this thing right here, you're gonna see details, like a little bit of dirt, like not everything is like super organized. And that's one of the main issues with 3D. Whenever you're doing 3D, it's always very easy to do things modularly and make sure that everything just looks like very pristine and very clean. So we don't see any footsteps, we don't see any dirt or grime, we don't see any like med kits or emergency things. Like there's always, whenever you have things like this, like a hospital or something, there's always, again, like boxes, like guidelines, you get like all of these cables like laying around. Like it's impossible to have everything like super pristine. There's always going to be a little bit of a mess. You can see it right here as well. Look at how much stuff there is: cables, tubes, connectors, things like that. And when you see things like this, it just doesn't make sense. So I would expect to see cables lying on the ground connecting these things. I would expect to see, again, some sort of like chutes or something on the walls, again, to break things up. Those are the things that you wanna focus on. And I know you know about this because you are the designer. So you know that when you're designing characters, like the really cool characters that you have right here, you work with layers, right? Like this guy right here has so many layers. It has his belt, has the little potions right there, his little satchel, the leaves over here with multiple types of leaves. So that sort of thing that you know about when designing a character, that's the same sort of thing that we need to translate when we're designing or doing an environment. And that's why the 3D work that I see right now doesn't look as like fleshed out as the other things, because even in this one right here, it's just like stuff over stuff. There's no thought to it. And maybe you were just following the tutorial, which is totally valid, but that's why always you need to try to give yourself a reason. It's like, why am I doing this? Why am I adding this specific thing right here? Why is this thing gonna be the way it is? That gives the story to make sure that we get a nicer result. Yes, Burke, I did watch the cinematic. We did actually a live watch last Friday, and there's a video on the YouTube channel if you want to check it out, where I talk a little bit about why that's so freaking amazing. I did a short yesterday as well about that. So yeah, it's super inspiring. I love it. So that's it, man. Safari, I hope that was helpful for you, my friend. Just keep going. Like, you already got all of the foundations from traditional 2D art, so translating those into 3D is way, or should be a little bit faster. Oh my god, how many are we missing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh my god, guys, I'm missing so many, and we're not gonna finish in time. I think, sorry, we're gonna have to do a second round because I'm missing so many. Claren Big says there's also work with indies and remote game jobs. They tend to have smaller studios. Got my last job from work with it. Yeah. There's a lot of indies. It might be sometimes a little bit difficult to find them because they don't have as much presence on socials. But if you just ask it, it's a lot easier. Oh, they shared another cinematic. LOL Sports. Esports cinematic. Hall of Legends? Oh, that's Hall of Legends. Oh, okay. Look at this. Volume up. You worked on that one? Okay, let's take a look. No, what's this? I'm not gonna listen to Spain. Spain? A Mexican listening to Spain? It's a sin. Love you. I love you, Spain. Amo españoles. Gracias. LOL Esports is the one. See.
There is no one path to greatness.
There we go.
But there are things all greats have in common. Every path begins with mastery.
Nice. I'm imagining you did some of this like statues.
The foundation. But mastery alone is not enough.
Nice.
They need resilience. The mental fortitude to clutch time and time again. And true greatness has a
awesome. Oh, nice.
Leading, carrying, unlocking their team.
It reminds me a lot of the Avengers. They did a post-credit scene, I think it was Ultron, where they had like this big statue. This is very cool, man.
Greatness always finds the unexpected, forcing openings, creating advances.
Nice. And this is what I mean. Look at how much you can do with just modeling and rendering, right? Like there's no animation except for the camera animation, and it looks epic.
From these elements, their impact is born. Their name as shorthand, their plays as textbooks, a story.
I love the color, like the gold and the stone color. So good.
Only then will greatness be immortalized in our minds. And only now, greatness is immortalized in our history.
Awesome.
The LOL Esports Hall of Legends.
Ah, nice. I mean, Faker's gonna be there, of course. Yeah, this is great, man. And this is exactly what I was mentioning on the short rest yesterday. The way to get here is with a team. There's in the same way than how League of Legends works, right? You need a team to be able to do these amazing things. It's very difficult to do this by your own. Congratulations, Bert. This is amazing. Great job, man. Great job. I love it. And yeah, now you can have that in your portfolio, which is gonna open you the doors for even new opportunities. Amazing. I'm so happy for you guys. I'm so happy. That's so cool. Okay, let's go with the next portfolio. This is what we're gonna do, guys, because again, these sessions have become like really long. We're gonna keep going until 1 p.m. So 30 more minutes. And then we'll stop right there and we'll probably do another one on like Tuesday or something, okay? So that we can finish up before like the next live stream next week. So I don't want to leave anyone hanging. And then for February, if we see this many submissions as well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you guys to pick one or two of the best ones that you want. And I'm going to talk about this because otherwise we're never going to finish. We're never going to finish with this. Okay, so this is a Shashank. Cool. I believe I've seen some of this stuff as well before. For instance, Shashank here is working on the Oni sculpt, on the Oni course. The stylization is not there yet, Shashank. We need to push it a little bit more to get it into like the sort of effect that we have. And we're missing the horns, for instance. The anatomy is getting there, but there are some anatomy issues. The hands, for instance, are way too small for the character. And we definitely need to fix that. Now, I'm not sure if you're still working on that one or if you already jumped onto this new one. This male boss right here. Again, this is what I would consider, Shashank, as exercises for your stuff. Oh, by the way, let me bring the music back. Yep. So we gotta be very careful, Shashank, on where are we spending our time? Because I know you're active on the Discord and you share a lot of your stuff. I would recommend focusing on one project and making sure it's freaking amazing before jumping onto the next one, because I can see here that you are like jumping quite a bit between projects, and I wouldn't consider right now any of them completely finished. Okay, so I would recommend you go, before you start a new project, you go back to some of these ones right here and you really finish those projects so that you can get a better like portfolio presentation here on your art station. Okay, hopefully that works. It says Nico Munch says, my name is Nico. I started my 3D journey 2 years ago and I absolutely love it. I want to become a professional 3D artist. Hope you can help me to optimize my portfolio. Currently, I have only 3 projects, but I'm working on it. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, let's take a look. This is very cool. This looks very like high fashion sort of stuff. It's one of these things where it looks very graphic. It looks very intense, very cool. But I'm not sure how this would fit on a like game. This is more for like a product placement or product design, which is fine. I mean, if you want to go that way, that's perfectly fine. It's very good, and I can see that you're using a little bit of action. It does look a little bit weird, the hair right here, especially on this area. There's usually a little bit of extra hair at the side of the ear, and I don't see any right here. And it's bundling up a little bit weird on the back of the hair. I love the eyebrows and the eyelashes. That looks really good. And again, this is very graphic, very high fashion sort of stuff. So I like this one. I would keep it. I would definitely keep it. It's very unique. Cars. I hate cars. Well, it's not that I hate cars. I hate modeling cars. I think the choice of colors here, it's a little bit working against you. Some of the exposure is way too high, and some of it is a little bit too like the size of the noise on some of these parts is it's not great. You get very interesting visuals, Nico. I'm guessing you are like a graphic designer or something, because this sort of like compositions, you don't see this from people that have been doing games. Like this is again high art, high fashion. And I can see on your profile pics that you also have a very nice style. This is cool. Keep this because I would actually remove this one and use this one instead, because it's way better. It just looks way nicer. And yeah, some nice like action shots right here. Now, one more thing that we need on this one, like to be honest, I would just take this one out and even take like this 2 out. Like just this run right here looks very nice, and then show some wireframes of the thing. Well, maybe of course one full, like if you can have the full car on this one right here, I think that would look very nice, because this shows that you have a sense of design and a sense of again artistic decisions that's a little bit like hard to get. Yes, the wheels, as someone is pointing out, so the mango is pointing out, the wheels do need a little bit more modeling there, again, to look nice. But like this thing right here, again, it looks like an art exhibition. I could see this as a background on like a James Bond movie or something, and it will look perfectly fine. So that's very cool, man. And then we go to game ready. So it's an interesting choice that you're going from this sort of like high art design part into game. If that's what you want to do, that's perfectly fine. Now for this one, we definitely need to fix a little bit of anatomy issues, mainly because you're using like a very traditional trilateral leg. This is a leg that you can find on things like, I don't know, like alligators or Tyrannosaurus Rex and stuff like that. And there's a lot of information there that you can use to like tweak the anatomy to look or make it look a little bit better. I can see that you're using ZBrush, Substance, and Maya, which means that you know the whole pipeline. Now the thing that we need to do is we need to polish that to make a little bit more sense out of it. One of the things that I mentioned is to never have just like big shapes and then change into smaller shapes. So if he is gonna have this sort of like plating on the top, I would expect to have smaller plating going into this back part right here, so that they would just look like it's fading. I made a short as well about the giraffe following that sort of pattern, and that's pretty nice. The idle cycle is amazing. Yeah, the animation looks it's great. Like, it really helps, and it's not something that takes a lot of time to do. So yeah, that's nice. Timothy says, hey Abe, love watching your streams and tutorials on Udemy here on YouTube. I'm currently learning 3D modeling as animation as a beginner. Any suggestion on which part I should pursue? Timothy, we got a new site now, and we got a Marvel Designer course, ZBrush course, Blender course. So if there are some things that you like about that, Sarn is gonna link it in just a while. But there's a little bit of everything right there. I'm working on this. The next course is going to be a substance picture course as well. Okay. Yeah, and on YouTube as well, David, if you can, please, because Timothy was asking that over there. But yeah, this is good, Nico. Just keep going. And again, these things that you know about Sign, use that to your advantage. Like, if you can make this sort of like character into a game character for games, that would be like really, really unique. I think that would be a good point for your portfolio as well. Now we go with Anna, the Red Angry Lion. My name is Anna and I'm from Poland. I started my adventure with 3D art at work as a structural engineer. Interesting. However, I started learning how to create characters in ZBrush. I would love to be a 3D character artist. I love the feeling when my character is finished. I would like to ask you for advice for your work. So far, I only have 2 of them, but the ideas are growing. Let's take a look. Okay, cool. Whoa, this is very cool. This is one that I've seen before. I think this is from a tutorial as well, because I've seen it several times. Remember, work from tutorials it's not bad, but you should always try to do your own version of it if possible. So you can do the tutorial, follow the tutorial, do the exact same exercise, and then all of the things that you learn, use them for your next piece, so that you don't have to include this on your portfolio. Hawk Winter, I didn't mention you. Thanks for the follow. If you're still watching, sorry. Then we got this little goblin right here. I love goblins. Goblins are so fun to make. This is a fun one. My best advice for this one, Anna, do a better render. This is just a screenshot from ZBrush. Just take this into Blender or Maya and do a clean render. We got plenty of content about that in the YouTube channel. Because this is a nice sculpture, and you don't always need to finish all of your characters. Like, it's fine if some of your characters are only like a high poly, because if you then show me that you know how to transfer a high poly into a game ready character, it's a lot easier. Or it just shows that you know the process. And yeah, this looks really good, Anna. This is really, really nice. This is the first project done from sculpting to texturing. Nice, yeah. Anatomy is a little bit lumpy, especially here on the arms. I would just like redefine the muscles a little bit more. Same here for the torso. I know he has this like big spikes. Oh, I was expecting to see a full character, Anna. This is just a bust of the character, which is fine. It's fine. There's nothing wrong, but ideally we want to see a full character. Topology wise, it's a little bit dense. Not a bad thing, especially because he's got a very crazy silhouette, but he could definitely be optimized a lot further. And yeah, this is good stuff. One more thing that you're missing here is the UV maps. I would love to see how you handle the UV maps, because you did a really good job on the textures and the render here. But we need to see the UV maps. Okay? But yeah, this is good stuff, Anna. I would suggest you do a full character next. You do have the necessary like technical knowledge about the softwares, because I can see that you went from knowing only ZBrush all the way to knowing the full pipeline. Now we need to have like our main shot light, right? Our main character that's going to show that I know the full process for a full character. Roma song. I don't know what you're saying there. Yes, Jorel, I still do one-on-one mentorships. I have limited the slots available. I can only do like 2 a week, mostly 2 or 3 at most, because I got other stuff to do. But yeah, you can send me a DM on Discord, and I'll let you know how it works. Cool. Go with the next one. Igor Vorovev. Hi, you already gave me feedback in the last portfolio review. Now I want to hear feedback for my last word that calls a gesture. Oh yeah, I saw this one. You posted it on the art station as well. Gesture, yes, nice. I like it. Okay, so first things that I see, it looks very cool. I know it's from a concept because I think I've seen the concept before. I don't think this is where you split feedback into personal opinion and professional opinion. In my personal opinion, I think it's a very like simple concept. Like, it just has a couple of layers that are done very well here for the concept, but it's not the most exciting concept for in my opinion. But you like did a great job. Like, this is great. This looks amazing. Were you using? Yeah, look at that. Look at what you can do with Marvel's Designer, guys. So if you want to learn how to do that, we got the course ready. It's the newest course there on the site. So yeah, this is great, man. This is great. The only thing I'm missing here, I think. Oh, that's a great mask. It is. I was expecting to. Yeah, this is great. You can definitely optimize this to change the belts and the rope. I know you went for a very like high quality effect, but having more detail on these things than on the character, it's usually not something that you do. But everything else looks good, man. Yeah, this is perfect. Yeah, amazing breakdowns. Learn from Igor, guys. This is how you present a project. You do a very cool render, and then you show all of your process across the whole thing. Oh, actually, it's quite optimized. It's just the fact that you have a lot of them, right? Yeah, it's supposed to be Daredevil. It's supposed to be like a medieval version of Daredevil. Nice. Look at how many breakdowns. Amazing. I do think, again, this is just a nitpicking at this point, but I do think that the pants is a little bit too tight. I would probably made it a little bit looser, but it's fine. And I like the fact that you posted here instead of Unreal. I would love to see probably another render like this with the dark background, but with the full shot. I think that would be another like cool thing to see for the character. Yeah, great job, Igor. That's amazing. Reference at the end. Let me see. Yeah, that's great reference. Yeah, and it's a simple suit. That's the thing, right? Like even the design that you're using, that one, it's very, very simple. This is where I would recommend, because you already show that you know how to follow the reference. So if you know that you can make certain decisions to make things just look a little bit better, push that. Just go a little bit better there at the end. So, oh, it's 3D back, so not real. That's fine. But it's still render, right? Like you optimized it to be game ready. So yeah, that looks great, man. Great stuff. I love it. Very, very cool. I'm gonna send you the Plague Doctor so that we can do maybe the Plague Doctor is the villain and yours is gonna be the hero beating the shit out of him. Let's see. When I do anatomy course, I can do Zorro as a character. Yeah, we'll see, because the next anatomy course that I'm gonna be doing is gonna be a realistic anatomy, and since he's anime, I'm not sure how close I could get it there. Oh, you're welcome, Igor. Go to the next one. This is Oshan Devinda says, hello Ave, I will be really grateful if you can feedback on this environment. In this project, I created everything from scratch. Shaders, textures, models, and literally everything. This is the first environment project that I could complete, and I tried to create one several times earlier, but failed this in an evening, and I turned it to the hyper-real style like in Far Cry 6. I started my 3D journey in June of 2021 and created this to understand and showcase what I'm capable of now. Okay. Used engine in Line 7, Unreal Engine 4.27, and GPU light maps for baking the light maps. Texture using Substance Designer, Painter, and ZBrush. Everything is modeled using Maya. Okay. So, the first thing that I noticed, Ocean, is that it is a little bit flat on this render right here. This one looks a little bit better, but the render looks flat. Now, is there? I know you were here in the YouTube section. Hopefully you're still there. Is this like, why did you decide to use Unreal 4.27 instead of Unreal Engine 5? Because I'm sure that this could look way better by just throwing it in Unreal Engine 5 and using Lumen. Using the realistic sky and everything, because the props, they look fine. Like all of this like optimization that you did for the elements, for the breaks and everything, I think it looks fine. I do think the colors are a little bit too saturated. Oh, you have very low end image. Okay, that makes sense. Let's watch the video. Yeah, so this optimization is great. This is really good. I mean, it works. This is how you would expect it to see on a game. tileable textures and everything look good. Yeah, this sort of like hit that you're showing, this is usually, that's the thing, like if you want to be very performance oriented, this is one of the ways people are doing it nowadays. But again, thanks to the fact that we're using Unreal Engine 5 and poly count is no longer that big of an issue, you can change things. Careful here with your scales, like that's a huge rope and that was a huge barrel as well. Same for that thing, that's a huge wind direction thing. Shaders are fine. So from a technical perspective, I think this is great, man. I think this is really, really good. Here's what I would suggest to you, my friend. If you don't have a very powerful machine right now, not the first one? Oh, this one. There you go. Hey, thanks for the follow, Guartis. Okay, yeah, that looks good. Now, again, here's what I was gonna say, because all of the shots are very good, man. But I think, again, you're kind of like working with again, since you are working with a older version of Unreal Engine, you're kind of hurting yourself on the final presentation. So here's what I would recommend. On the Discord channel, ask someone who has Unreal Engine 5 who wants to learn about lights and presentation or cinematic presentation, and do a collaboration. Work with him or with her and just say, hey, I'm gonna provide you with the models and the shaders and everything, and you're gonna create some amazing cinematic shots using Unreal Engine 5, Lumen, realistic light, realistic shadows, everything. And when you present that, that person is gonna be able to say, hey, I did the illumination for this thing, and you're gonna be able to say, hey, I did the models for this thing. But you're gonna have an amazing shot that is gonna help both of you. Okay, so that would be my advice, not only for you, this is for everyone. If you guys have a skill and you're missing on another skill, do collaborations. If you're really good at sculpting but you suck at rendering, look for someone that's looking to be really good at rendering and that sucks at sculpting, and work together to create something that's going to benefit both of you. Because when someone watches or sees an amazing piece on ArtStation, they don't care who did who, they just care about an amazing piece. Then when they click on it, they're gonna know, oh, this guy did the sculpting or this guy did the modeling. It's the same thing with the cinematics that we just saw from Berg, for instance, right? Like you see the cinematic, you're like, oh, that's amazing, who did that? And then you're gonna start researching and you're gonna see Berg did something, and then you're gonna call or ask Berg who else you need to call if you want to do something similar. And Bert's gonna assemble his own like Avengers team to do something like that. So it's very, very important to try to do collaborations when it's possible. I mean, we did that in a simple way with the Plague Doctor. Sarn here helped me with one of the staff, and it's an amazing staff that looks good with the whole thing. So now Sarn can use the Plague Doctor render in his portfolio and be like, hey, I did the staff. And that's fine, because it's just a way in how we get our word and our name out there. Okay. So yeah, as Kaisen says there, teamwork to make the dream work. That's right. Okay, 2 more, guys. We're gonna do 2 more and we're gonna call it a day, okay? And again, don't worry if I didn't manage to get yours. We're gonna have an extra stream next week to cover those, because I was not expecting to have this many and so great portfolios. So this one is from Rishav. Says, hey Ave, resubmitting, have made some changes, please provide some feedback. Perfect. So Rishav also took one of my advices to simplify some of the stuff, like remove some of the elements that might not be as great. And yeah, I think this is good. My best advice for you right now, my friend, is drop this sort of like sparky thingy. This is not necessary. Remember that the portfolio is not really meant for the masses, right? Like the portfolio is meant for the recruiters, for the studios. So they know that these sparks that you're adding are just like extra sparks that they can add whenever they want. They want to see the weapon. They want to see this. They want to see the wireframes. They want to see the base colors. They want to see the poly count, the UVs. Yeah, exactly. This is what we want to see. There's no need to see all of this again, like sparks and things, because it just distracts from the element. So I would rather you show me some close-ups of this sword right here than show me something else. Now, I'm gonna give you another advice. This is a little bit more of a personal advice. Sandy, thanks, man. Yeah, see you on the next stream. I know anonymity in the internet is really helpful and really interesting, because you can say and do whatever you want and no one's gonna care. But since this portfolio is gonna be your presentation to a business, being a little bit more transparent about that is, I would say, recommended. So change your name. What's your name? I don't know what your name is. I know you're 3 Dr. Verse, but that doesn't tell me anything about you, right? change your name, change your picture, show who you are, and that's just gonna show a little bit more transparency. Later on, when you become famous and you're like, oh yeah, everyone knows who this guy is, then fine, you can have your alias and stuff like that. But to be honest, no one's gonna remember someone's aliases unless he's like really, really, really famous. That's why even in my YouTube channel and what we do right here, it's AveLeo3D, because I'm AveLeo, so I don't need to be, I don't know, one of my gamer tags or whatever. No one's gonna know who that guy is. But if you see AveLeo, it's like, oh, I know that guy. I know who that guy is. Or if you look AveLeo on LinkedIn, you're gonna get my full like professional curriculum. So it's very, very important to present yourself with who you are. If you don't want to have your picture, that's fine. I understand that, but at least your name, I would say, is important. Now, I still see a couple of pieces that I would probably not keep on your portfolio. Some simple pieces like this bunny right here, this skull right here, this robot right here. I'll put this like candle. Like, again, you don't need to fill your portfolio in just for the sake of filling it in. Just keep the weapons that are the best. So I would keep this one, this one, this one, the knife, this one, the tank, definitely, this one if you can texture it or do a clay render, like a nicer clay render, and this one, like the Nasher or like sci-fi gun. Yeah, so clean your portfolio a little bit more. Again, I know you might really look this cute bunny, but come on, anyone who's just learning Maya, even if they don't know how to extrude things, can't do this bunny right here. So it's not impressive, and it questions, or it brings to question your decision on why this thing should be here. Yes, exactly, Clarenbeck. I mean more light and such, not focal length. Exactly. Igor is asking, I'm currently working with characters that have a lot of hair. Is there no way to avoid putting each hair out by itself? Do you have some... No, I've actually looked. There are a couple of plugins that you can use curves. You can use XGen to kind of like place them. But to be honest, every single character artist that I've talked about this topic is like, just do it. Just play your favorite music. Go get yourself a drink or some snacks. Get into the mood and just place them. That's the way they do it with traditional like mask prop creation. And it's gonna give you the best result if you do it. It's gonna take you several hours or maybe some days, but just do it. It's gonna give you the best result. Cool. Final one for today. We're gonna have again, as I mentioned, we're gonna do another portfolio review early next week so that we can cover everyone else that was missing, because we had a lot of submissions this month. So this is by Suleiman Ali from India. Says, hi, my name is... Wait a second. No. The hell? Okay, we have a little bit of a miscommunication here. Because it says here, my name is Rihan Khan and I'm from India. But then over here it says Suleiman Ali. I'm not sure if this is your gamer tag or the other one's your gamer tag. I'm just going to follow the message, okay? I want to become a 3D character artist. It's my portfolio, sir. Please tell me about this and give me some advice to what I can do next. Okay, Rihan. Okay. So if you want to be a character artist, man, you need to do characters. I only see 2 characters right here, and it's this sort of like anatomy study right here. This sort of like fat and fit body. And we see the dwarf, which I know is from another tutorial as well. I think it was from Flip Normals or something. So we need to do a character. If you want to be a character artist, the only option is to do a character. My best advice, if you want to do stylized characters, we got the demon character, the only creation character with ZBrush, where we go over anatomy, forms, proportions, and the final render at the end. But that's it. Hard surface looks good, man. Like, your hard surface skills here look good. I think your bakes are looking a little bit too like they're not as sharp as they could be, but that has to do with the high poly. So we will need to investigate either the high poly or your low poly, because you can see here on the weapon, especially on these close-ups, look how smooth the bakes look, right? It doesn't look like razor sharp. So we need to work on that, because it's looking a little bit faded on the element. It looks like it's made out of clay instead of metal, and that has to do a lot with normal map. This is a nice dress. It's marvelous, right? Yeah, that's marvelous cider. Yeah, that's nice. I think you're simplifying your topology a little bit too much right there, so be careful there. But it's a nice project. Yeah, I think this one looks good as well. Yeah, I think you need to grab a project and really nail it down. Again, I'm not sure how long or how much time you're spending on each project, but let's spend a little bit more. Oh, this one's great. I've seen this one. I actually recommended the student to do this work a long time ago. I think it's a little bit too simplistic because I remember the concept and it was not as simple. Melee Star, I would say it's really important, especially because with the maps, you can see not only the maps and how you handle the texture creation, but also the UVs. And a lot of people are, for some reason, not paying too much attention to the UV creation nowadays, and it's hurting them because it is important to have like a really, really clean UVs. Okay, UVs are, again, textures nowadays are the bottleneck. They're the main bottleneck of the production pipeline. So you need to make sure that you can get it right. So yeah, my friend, I think again, if you want to be a character artist, you need to do more characters, full characters with the full process. So it seems like you know and understand the tools. Now we need to create that project, like one project that's gonna be like your best project. Okay, so check the Oni course if you can on the site. This is where you're gonna find the good price. So check it out, and hopefully that helps you. So yeah, that's it, guys. We're gonna be closing today because I got some more stuff to do. Again, I was not expecting to take so long on reviewing some of your portfolios, but I want to give you as much time as I can. We're probably gonna have to figure out a way to optimize this process for next month because as our audience grows, so do the portfolios. So yeah. As I mentioned before, guys, if you want to support the channel, following here on Twitch. If you're not following, subscribing, of course, is also helpful. And the best way to support us is to go to our site, to www.aveliel3d, as Sard is linking right there, and, well, getting some of our courses. I believe the courses have the necessary content to get you guys to the next level and give you tips, tricks, and techniques that are going to make you a better artist. If you think so as well, please let us know. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna see you back on the Discord channel if you have questions, and we'll see you on the next stream and videos on YouTube. Thank you, guys. Have a great weekend. I'll see you back on the next one. Bye-bye.